Israel on Saturday mourned the deaths of 3 Gaza hostages killed when troops mistook them for a threat, with the military expressing remorse over a tragic incident that sparked protests in Tel Aviv. The Israeli army said Yotam Haim, Alon Shamriz and Samer El Talaka, all aged in their 20s, were shot during operations in a neighborhood of Gaza City. The trio were among an estimated 240 people taken hostage during Hamas' October 7 raids into Israel, which also killed an estimated 1,200 people. During combat in Shaya, the IDF, Israel Defense Forces, mistakenly identified 3 Israeli hostages as a threat and as a result, fired toward them and the hostages were killed, Israel Defense Forces spokesman Daniel Hagari said. The IDF expresses deep sorrow regarding this disaster, and shares in the grief of the families. Their bodies were transferred to Israel, and on examination were confirmed as being Haim, a 28-year-old heavy metal drummer, 25-year-old Bedouin man El Talaka and Shamriz, aged 26. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu described their deaths as an unbearable tragedy. All of Israel is grieving their loss, he said, while the White House called the incident a tragic mistake. As news of the incident spread late Friday, hundreds of people gathered at Israel's Ministry of Defense in Tel Aviv to call on Netanyahu's government to secure the release of 129 hostages still being held in Hamas-ruled territory. The demonstrators waved Israeli flags and brandished placards. Every day, a hostage dies. Read one message. I am dying of fear, said Meirav Svirsky, sister of Hamas-held hostage Itay Svirsky. We demand a deal now. In November, a short-lived truce saw more than 100 hostages freed in exchange for Palestinians held in Israeli jails. That deal has since lapsed and fighting has resumed. More careful, but the hostages' deaths have heightened already fierce scrutiny of how Israel is conducting its ground and air assault in Gaza.
According to the Israeli military, 3 hostages were mistakenly killed during its operation in Gaza because they were mistakenly classified as a threat. Reportedly, the deceased names and ages were as follows: Yotam Haim, age 28, Samer Talaka, age 22, and Alon Shamriz, age 26. And yes, they were all Israelis. The military expressed regret and stated that the 3 were shot by soldiers stationed in the northern Gaza district of Shejaya. Following their capture during the attacks on Israel on October 7, over 100 hostages are still being captive in Gaza. The Israeli Defense Force (IDF) stated that it expresses deep remorse over the tragic incident and sends its families its heartfelt condolences and that it is looking into the Friday's incident. Meanwhile, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has also described their deaths as an unbearable tragedy. Even on this difficult evening, we will bind up our wounds, learn the lessons and continue with a supreme effort to return all our abductees home safely, he stated. The deaths were a tragic mistake, according to White House spokesperson John Kirby too, who also stated that US lacked perfect visibility on exactly how the operation unfolded. After being taken on October 7 when Hamas attacked Israel, killing 1,200 people and taking 240 hostages, some of whom were freed during a brief ceasefire, more